Stage 1. The Hunger. The wind howling off the freezing streets of Chicago bites through your thin wool coat. It is January 1920. The Volstead Act has just gone into effect, legally drying up the entire country. You are standing in a freezing, grease-stained auto garage. Your stomach cramps violently. You are a mechanic, but nobody is paying for repairs. The winter coal is completely gone, and your rent is 3 weeks late. In exactly 3 years, you will be driving a custom-built V8 engine at 90 miles an hour through the dead of night, carrying enough illegal Canadian whiskey to buy this entire city block. But right now, you are nobody. A man in a heavy camel hair overcoat walks into the garage. He doesn't look at the cars. He looks at you. He smells of expensive cologne and cheap cigars. He pulls a thick roll of $20 bills from his pocket. He peels off 3 and sets them on the hood of a rusted Ford. "I need a driver," he says. "Someone who knows the back roads to the Canadian border and doesn't ask questions." $60. That is 2 months of honest wages. You look at the money. You look at your freezing, empty hands. You know exactly what he is asking you to do. You know it is a federal crime. But morality is a luxury of the rich, and you are starving. You tell yourself it is just one run, just enough to pay the rent and buy some coal. You take the money. You have just signed a contract to enter the most violent, explosive underground economy in American history, and you don't even know it yet. Stage 2. The Runner. The night is pitch black. You are gripping the wooden steering wheel of a modified Ford Model T. The headlights are completely off. You are driving by the faint silver glow of the moon reflecting off the snow. In the back of the car, covered by heavy canvas blankets, are 40 cases of pure, unaged corn liquor. You learn the trade fast. You learn that the federal agents, the probies, patrol the main highways. So you take the logging roads. You take the dirt paths that twist through the dense pine forests. The suspension of the car groans under the massive, unnatural weight of the alcohol. Your eyes are constantly darting to the rearview mirror. You make the drop at a secluded farmhouse just outside the city limits. The men unload the glass jars in total silence. The boss hands you an envelope. Another $60. You drive home as the sun comes up, your hands shaking violently from the adrenaline. You pay your rent. You buy groceries. You feel a massive, intoxicating surge of pride. You have outsmarted the federal government. But here is the catch. The danger isn't just the law. It is the cargo. You are driving a moving bomb. If you hit a deep pothole on a dirt road at 50 miles an hour, the heavy glass jars in the back will shatter. The cabin will instantly fill with highly flammable alcohol vapor. A single spark from the exhaust pipe, and the car will incinerate in a fraction of a second, leaving nothing but a charred metal frame and your dental records. The terror is constant. Stage 3. The Upgrade. 6 months pass. You haven't quit. The money is simply too good. You are no longer driving a beat-up Model T. You are an engineer of the underworld. You realize that to survive, you need to be completely invisible, and when visibility fails, you need to be impossible to catch. You spend your nights in a locked garage, fundamentally altering the physics of the automobile. You bore out the engine cylinders to drastically increase the horsepower. You install heavy-duty truck suspension in a standard coupe so the car doesn't ride suspiciously low when loaded with 1,000 pounds of glass and liquid. You become an artist of deception. You rip out the back seats and install custom-welded steel tanks. You build false floorboards lined with lead. You run a switch to the dashboard that completely cuts the brake lights, allow you to vanish into the darkness when you hit the brakes. It is a Tuesday night. You are coming down a steep mountain grade. Suddenly, the darkness is shattered by the blinding glare of police spotlights. A roadblock. 2 federal sedans are parked horizontally across the 2-lane bridge. Men in fedoras are standing behind the doors, pointing pump-action shotguns directly at your windshield. "Don't move," a federal agent shouts. You don't panic. You don't hit the brakes. You slam the clutch, rip the emergency brake with your right hand, and aggressively cut the steering wheel. The car violently breaks traction. You spin a perfect 180 degrees in the middle of the narrow road. The tires scream, choking the air with thick, white rubber smoke. You drop the gear, floor the accelerator, and shoot back up the mountain in the opposite direction before the agents even have time to pull their triggers. You have mastered the bootlegger turn. You are a ghost. But that is when things start to go wrong. Stage 4, the syndicate. You are too good at your job. Your flawless delivery record attracts attention. You are no longer running cheap moonshine for rural bootleggers. You are summoned to a private room in the back of an illegal, high-end speakeasy in the city. The air is thick with jazz music and cigarette smoke. You sit across from the regional boss of the Italian syndicate. He doesn't offer you a job. He informs you of your new promotion. You are now running imported Canadian club whiskey, straight from the Great Lakes boats down to the city warehouses. You are moving cargo worth tens of thousands of dollars. Your weekly pay jumps to $500 in cash. You wear tailored suits. You buy a beautiful house in a quiet, respectable neighborhood. You tell your neighbors you are a traveling salesman. You are living a perfect, pristine, double life. But you realize a dark truth about human desperation. You thought you were an independent operator. You thought you were a freelance driver. You were wrong. You tried to take a week off because your mother is sick. The boss smiles, but his eyes are dead. You drive tonight, he says, or you don't drive ever again. You understand the threat. You are no longer an employee. You are property. The line between a well-paid driver and a hostage is so thin it no longer exists. You rationalize the evil because the success feels too good, but you are completely trapped by your own technical excellence. Stage 5, the hijack. It is a freezing rainstorm in November. You are driving a reinforced Packard hauling a massive load of premium scotch. The wipers are struggling to clear the heavy rain from the windshield. You are approaching the designated drop-off point, an abandoned warehouse near the docks. You pull into the alleyway. You cut the engine. The silence is deafening. You wait for the syndicate men to open the loading bay doors. But the doors don't open. Instead, 2 black sedans silently roll to block the exit of the alley behind you. The high beams click on, blinding you. These aren't the feds. The federal agents announce themselves. These men do not. 4 men step out of the sedans. They are holding Thompson submachine guns. Rival hijackers. In the booming illegal liquor economy, stealing from other gangs is cheaper than smuggling it yourself. "Get out of the car," one of them screams. You drop below the dashboard the exact second the alley erupts in a deafening roar. Heavy .45 caliber bullets tear through the thin metal of your trunk. Glass shatters. The overwhelming stench of premium scotch floods the cabin. They are destroying the cargo to get to you. You are on the floorboards, covered in broken safety glass. You don't have a submachine gun. You only have a .38 revolver and the heavy steel of your engine block. You blindly reach up. You twist the ignition. The engine roars to life. You throw the car into reverse, duck your head, and slam the gas pedal to the floor. Your heavy steel bumper violently crushes the radiator of the lead hijacker's sedan. The impact throws you against the steering wheel, cracking your ribs. You throw it into first gear, mount the wet sidewalk, scrape aggressively against the brick wall of the alley, and tear out into the main street. You survive, but the psychological damage is permanent. You realize that you are an expendable asset in a corporate war. If you had died in that alley, the boss wouldn't have attended your funeral. He would have just bought another car and hired another starving boy from the slums. Stage 6, the isolation. Your massive wealth means absolutely nothing. You have a floor safe packed with bundled cash, but you are a complete prisoner of your own success. The violence of the bootleg wars has escalated to absolute madness. Car bombs, daylight assassinations. The federal government responds by creating specialized task forces. The Bureau of Prohibition is everywhere. They are tapping phone lines. They are paying informants. Your emotional reality shifts from unchecked pride to absolute, crushing paranoia. You sit alone in your beautiful, expensive house at midnight. All the curtains are drawn tightly shut. You sleep with a loaded Colt 1911 under your pillow. Every time a car idles on your street for more than 10 seconds, your heart slams against your ribs. You check the bottom of your car for explosives every single morning. You cannot trust anyone. The mechanic who changes your oil could be a federal informant. The bartender at the speakeasy could be working for a rival gang. You are totally isolated. You have built a massive fortune in the shadows, but you are completely alone in the dark. Stage 7. The Reckoning. None of that matters, because something else is coming. It is December 5th, 1933. You are sitting at a bar, a legitimate legal bar. The radio is playing in the background. The announcer confirms the news. The 21st Amendment has been ratified. Prohibition is officially repealed. The men around you are cheering. They are raising glasses of legal beer. You are not cheering. You stare completely blankly at the wet wooden counter. The syndicate boss called you yesterday. He didn't ask you to drive. He told you that the outfit is moving into narcotics, loan sharking, and illegal casinos. They don't need highly skilled night runners anymore. They don't need modified V8 engines with false floorboards. The billion-dollar industry that you risked your life to build vanished overnight with the stroke of a politician's pen. You walk outside into the freezing winter air. You look at your custom-built car parked at the curb. The heavy suspension, the bored-out engine, a masterpiece of criminal engineering that is now completely useless. You have $200,000 hidden in a safe, but you cannot explain to the IRS how you earned a single penny of it. You have a dozen federal warrants attached to your aliases. You spent 13 years outrunning bullets, outsmarting federal agents, and surviving mob hits, all for a temporary law. You finally understand your complete role in this terrible machine. You were never a master of the underworld. You were just a temporary solution to a political problem, used up by the syndicate and abandoned the exact second you stopped being profitable. Word count, 1,845.